Our next block is a full patch with a Parisien rose applique center. Or we can do it not so frayed as that, but with more of a zigzag stitch going around it. But they're both freeform, and we show you both ways of doing them. So our 4 square is made up of 2 background patches and 2 of our accent fabric pieces. Because of the row being completed before we started, I'm just going to do a sample patch for you. So there's our 2 full patches, and we didn't cut background for this, but I am going to use a different colorway of our accent fabrics. And so our full patch is made up of 4 squares of 3.5 inches each, sewn together this way, that way, and then the row together like that. So this lid measures approximately 4 inches across. So I'm going to take a piece of paper, put down my lid, randomly draw around the container lid like so. And I now also know that our blocks, these ones, are 6 by 6 completed in our quilt. At the moment they are 6.5, but seam allowances must still come off. So my widest rose petals on the outside could be, I would say, not more than 5, so that we've got a little bit of playing room at the edges around here. So this is more or less full. I'm randomly freehand going to draw a circle around it now to where I need it to be, which is approximately there. Or just find a little bit bigger lid or a plate or something if you are not secure in this. But remember, these are not going to remain round. So what we're now first going to do is we're going to cut out this shape. So here we go. That was our original lid, made a little bit bigger. And then this one I made an inch smaller, and this one I made an inch smaller than that. So if we go around it, this is 2 by 2, 3 by 3, 4 by 4, 5 by 5. And that should give us an idea of what to do. So you can use these circles as is, and when you stitch around them, I'll just show you with a pen. You can just sort of give it a wavy edge like this to make the, because it's a raw edge applique, it will make the edges then fray more or less, and you'll get a flower shape. The other way to make it that's easier is to take your circle, fold it over. Once folded over, to just take this edge and curve it inwards like so, and do the same on the opposite end. Then to open it, to fold it along the other long side, and we're going to do the same by just clipping in and coming out, and on the other side doing, not taking too much away. If you look at the pieces in my hand, the offcut pieces, very little comes off, but it will give you a petally shape. If you don't like something like that, you can just curve it in a little bit more, like so. And there we've got our first petal made. Or what you can also do is randomly take your fabric and then just start edge cutting a shape as you go. Just to show you how versatile these French applique roses can be. So it can be like this, or a little bit more planned like that, or we can leave them as a circle. You've got 3 options to go with this. This is why I did not provide a template or a pattern for this, as we want you to make this an organic thing that grows by itself. So, without further ado, I'm first going to now take these 3 pieces and cut the edges like I did here. Once we've rounded the corners of our petals, they will look like this. And then we are ready to cut them from fabric. We are ready to assemble them and to applique our block. So once our shapes are cut, we can now assemble, and we start with the biggest one and putting that down and sort of make sure that we have the same amount of space where all our seams are of our full patch. And then after sewing this down, we layer the next one. After sewing that, we layer the next one, and then the last one, and that will create our little rows. So we are ready to sew our first one, and I've just got a grey thread in my sewing machine, and I'm going to use my 1/4 inch foot so that I know that I'm sewing a quarter from the edge of this, and I'm going to have my needle in the down position when it stops, and off we go. And then I'm just going to pivot where I see this is where we started. And there we are. And there's our first block sewn down. Now we're going to lay our next one on top and make it so that it has a pleasing shape for us. I think that's going to be fine, and we're going to repeat the steps. If you want the French applique rose look without the fraying that's going to take place once this is washed and dried, we're going to follow the exact same technique of cutting and making them. Instead of doing a 1/4 inch seam just around the edges and letting that fray, we are now going to use a loose zigzag stitch. I'm going to show you this in a minute. And then also we are going to create more petal-like things by working into the next towards the next petal, etc., to create more vibrant petals on this. So there is the more appliqued one done with the zigzags around the edges. And to create a little bit of more petal shape, we added in these. So you've got a choice between this or your more frayed look, and you can decide which one will work best for your quilt. And make as many as you want. You can do every full patch, or you can do every alternative full patch, or just 3 or 4 over the whole length of the row. See you soon for the assembly.